Hello guys and happy Halloween. So today we are kicking off the 2020 Halloween season with this very first creepy pentagram looking makeup look. So I already have my base down on my face, foundation, bronzer, blush, all that good stuff. So the next thing that we're going to jump into is the eyebrows, and I knew this look was going to be very kind of like red and black themed, so I wanted to kind of incorporate that in my eyebrows as well. So I'm using just a CoverGirl pomade to fill in the first half of my brows, and then I'm going in with the Take Me to Brazil BH Cosmetics palette, and I'm taking this red eyeshadow and kind of finishing off my brows with that, kind of giving them that like ombre look to them. I don't know, this was my first time trying anything like this, and I actually think it turned out pretty darn cool. So that is what I am doing to my eyebrows, and then we are going to jump into the eye makeup look, which is very simple, very smoky. So the palette that I'm going in with is the Shared Planet Tiger collection. This palette is amazing. It is extremely pigmented. So to start the eye look, I'm using this brown color and kind of putting that all over the crease. As you can see, it is very pigmented, so just kind of put some in your crease and blend it out as best you can, just to kind of have like a base and a really nice transition type color in your crease. And then we are going to go in with some of the other more dark dramatic colors. The next shade from the palette that we are going to go in with is the Blackest Black out of the Shared Planet Tiger collection palette. This black is very pigmented, just like all of the other eyeshadows, and I am packing this all over the eyelid, kind of bringing it up to my crease but not going above my crease, and I'm holding a Kleenex underneath just because I already have my base on. I didn't want to like screw that up, so I'm just holding a Kleenex there and kind of really packing in that black shade. And then to kind of blend everything together and make it very kind of dramatic and smoky, I'm going in with the Blood Sugar palette by Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and I am taking two of the darkest red shades from the palette, and I am kind of putting that above the black and blending it all together. Now, I don't know how to do eyeshadow to save my life, especially when it comes to blending dramatic colors like this so much. So I'm just kind of going back and forth with different brushes, kind of blending the black into the red and the red into the black, and just trying to make it look very seamless, you know, my version of seamless, and just making that very dark and blended, and I'm bringing it up quite far as well. Then I'm just taking a black eyeliner and applying that to my waterline, because black eyeliner is good for any season, honestly. I always put that shit on. And then I'm also taking the red eyeshadow and kind of putting that underneath my eyes as well, just to kind of tie in the top and the bottom look. And then of course just going in with some mascara on my top and bottom lashes. You are more than welcome to put falsies on if you want to make this more of like a pretty glam look, but you guys know I'm not a huge fan of false eyelashes, and since I was already gluing enough crap on my face, I didn't want to add any more glue on my face, so I just went with mascara. Then for the lips, I wanted a really pretty dark red lip, so first I am just lining my lips with a red lip liner, and then the first lip color that I went in with was one of the minis from Jeffree Star. This is in the shade Red Rum, and when I first put this on, I thought it was going to be like the perfect red color, but as I was applying it, it almost looked too red, like too much like a true red, and I wanted it to be darker. So after I applied a coat of this, I actually went over with Unicorn Blood from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and this gave me that look that I was looking for. So it just gave me that really dark, deep red blood color. And then here is what the beauty makeup of this looks like. Now it is time to get a little bit spooky and a little bit cult-like. So I am going to be using this Pentagram prosthetic. I can't talk today, good lord. And I got this from Spirit Halloween, and I'm going to be using this on my face. So as you can see, the prosthetic is quite big and I have a very small face. So I decided to kind of take the risk and cut out the pentagram with some scissors, kind of getting rid of that excess material or skin, I guess you could call it, around it. Now, the reason why I say a risk is because the edges on this prosthetic are very thin towards the end, which kind of helps disguise the edges more. And since I was cutting those off, I knew I was going to have a harder time with edges. And in special effects makeup, edges are something that you don't really want, but I think I got the desired effect that I was hoping for anyway. But just in case you guys want to do the same thing, that cutting off those thin edges are going to make it a little harder to disguise. So after I got it all cut out, I kind of figured out a placement that would fit best on my forehead perfectly, and I am just applying some Prosade. This stuff is amazing. You can stick anything with this stuff. And I am applying some Prosade to the back of the prosthetic, and then I'm also applying Prosade to the area of my forehead where it is going to stick, kind of making it into a star formation. And then the big trick with Prosade is you know it's ready when it starts to turn clear. I don't wait for it to get completely clear, but once it gets about 80-90% clear is when I know I'm ready to stick on the prosthetic, and I'm just using a little handheld fan. This thing is amazing. It has literally saved my life. It just speeds up the drying process a little more, so I'm kind of putting that on my forehead and on the prosthetic, making the Prosade dry a little bit quicker. And once it gets to that point, it is ready to stick. So again, I'm just kind of positioning where I want it on my forehead. I know it is a little bit crooked, but with how small my forehead is, this is the only way that I could get it to look good. And I think it still looks good, even though it's a little bit crooked. And once you stick it on there and give it a little bit of a tap, it is on there and it is good to go. And I actually loved the way that it looked. I think it looked very realistic. It looked very, very cool. I loved it. So next we are going to be popping in some contacts. So here are my regular brown eyes, and we are going to be popping in these awesome contacts. These are from Camo Eyes, and these are the wolf contacts. Now, I didn't know if these would be fitting for the look, but they actually turned out to be really fucking cool, and they worked really well. So moving on to the lips, I went in with the darkest red shade from the Blood Sugar palette, and on an eyeshadow brush, I kind of went around my lip line and just kind of buffed out the color to make my lips look a little bit more blurred, I guess you could say. And I got a little bit crazy with this, and I started to drag the eyeshadow kind of outward to give myself this kind of interesting looking smile, I guess you could call it. I don't know why. If you guys have ever seen the movie Last Shift on Netflix, I don't think it's on there anymore, but that was such a good movie, and this look really reminds me of that movie. Let me know if any of you guys can relate, because I thought it was like almost identical to that. Next, I'm going in with one of these little paint stacks that you get at Spirit Halloween. These things are awesome, totally worth the money, and you know, they're not super expensive. And I'm just kind of going in on the Pentagram prosthetic and just kind of making it look a little bit more wet and shiny and realistic, just to make it look like, you know, I carved this on my sacrifice, cut it off, and put it on my face. You know, just that kind of dark aesthetic. And the fun thing about Halloween makeup and special effects makeup is you can really kind of play around with this and make it look different and cool. You know, just kind of play around and see what works. As you can see, that little smile that I created, I ended up not really liking it. So I went in with my fingers and just kind of blended out the eyeshadow around my lips to make it look, you know, messy, like I was just eating a human or an animal or whatever. Next, I'm going in with this red blood gel, and I'm applying little bloody tears just below my eyes. Now, don't get this stuff in your eyes, guys. That's not a good idea, but just below your eye, kind of let it fall, let gravity do its thing, and the effect is absolutely perfect. So here is how this look turned out. I absolutely love the way this turned out. I was very, very happy with it. I think this is a pretty good kickstart to the 2020 Halloween season. You guys will have to let me know what you think of this down below. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you go down and give this video a huge thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you all are having a happy, awesome Halloween season. If you are new to my channel, make sure you go down and subscribe. I do upload every 3 to 4 days here. But as for the rest of you, I love you guys, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye, guys!